Are there connections between the national debt and issues like climate change? When we think about the national debt and climate change, it may seem like two separate issues. However, they can be connected, especially from a Republican viewpoint. Republicans often argue that the national debt is a more pressing concern than climate change. They believe that the financial burden of tackling climate change should not worsen the national debt. The Simpson-Bowles Commission was a bipartisan effort aimed at reducing the national debt and deficit. This commission reflects the Republican emphasis on fiscal responsibility. They argue that any climate policy must consider its impact on the national debt. If a climate initiative requires significant government spending, it could lead to increased debt, which Republicans see as harmful to economic stability. Republicans typically prefer market-based solutions over large government programs. For example, they support tax credits for private sector innovations like carbon capture technologies. These approaches aim to address climate change without imposing heavy costs on taxpayers or increasing the national debt. Additionally, Republicans often highlight that a strong economy is essential for addressing both fiscal and environmental challenges. They believe that policies promoting economic growth can provide the resources needed to invest in technologies that mitigate climate risks. By focusing on reducing government spending, they argue that the country can better manage both the national debt and climate issues. While Republicans acknowledge the implications of climate change, they prioritize fiscal responsibility. They argue that aggressive climate regulations could harm economic competitiveness and job creation. Their focus remains on finding solutions that do not add to the debt while still addressing environmental concerns. In summary, the connection between the national debt and climate change is viewed through the lens of fiscal responsibility. Republicans advocate for solutions that stimulate economic growth while keeping the national debt in check. This approach reflects their belief that long-term economic strength is vital for effectively managing environmental challenges.